Hello there, reading teachers. This is Bill McDonald, the reading writing doctor, and I wanted to show you how to use my revising graphic organizer to do a revising question that is from the third grade samples that TEA posted, and I will also do an editing question from the same attachment as well. So, question number 8, I'm sorry, it says, Kat would like to include the following sentence in the second paragraph, sentences 5 through 8. And if you count your fingers, you have 5 fingers. So, sentences 5, 6, 7, 8, because that's only 4 sentences, you'll only need 4 fingers to represent the sentences that they're talking about. And because we're going to be adding a sentence, our 5th finger somewhere will be the sentence that we're going to add, this box sentence. And after reading the paragraph, we discover that it's a closing sentence. So the places that they ask you to consider adding it, using the word best, meaning that there's 2 places that could work, is after sentence 5, 6, 7, and 8. So, I read the entire paragraph. I didn't worry about reading paragraph 1 for this question because it's only asking about paragraph 2. So I label and bracket the second paragraph and write question number 2 there. I read all of the important information. You might teach your kids to underline or highlight the keywords, but what I've done instead was I've written them on my revising graphic organizer. So sentence 5 says that Clara Barton, let me make sure I said her name right. Yes, Clara Barton was born December 25th on North Oxford, Massachusetts. Okay, the year wasn't necessarily important. When she was 11, her brother got in an accident. That's sentence 6. She was his nurse for 2 years. So that means from the age of 11 all the way to when she was 13, she was his nurse. Those are, that's a supporting detail that it's like a cause and effect relationship. The cause, what happened first, the action, her brother in an accident. The effect, she was his nurse for 2 years. Another supporting detail, she gave him medicine until he became better. Okay? And because everything in a passage ties together, the topic sentence, the main idea, the explanation or the example or the event, and all the S specific supporting details, everything ties together. I'm going to use a hand because it can help me, my palm can help me with the purpose, the prompt, the paragraph, and anything regarding a whole passage. Okay? We can work on summary, central idea statements, controlling idea statements, sentences that ask about focuses of passages or paragraphs, thesis statements or position statements. So, because the box sentence said she was able to use the experience of caring for someone who would help, for someone that would help her later in life, since that was really a closing sentence, it wouldn't really make sense to put it after 5 because her brother hasn't had the accident yet. After 6, her brother had the accident, and it doesn't tell you that she's helping him yet. So the only 2 good choices are after sentence 7 and sentence 8. She was his nurse for 2 years. Well, because that didn't give enough details about what she did as his nurse, then that wouldn't be the best place to put it. She gave him medicine until he came better, because that was a specific example of something that she did. Then you can say, okay, as a closing sentence, she used this experience of caring for someone to help her later on in life, perhaps becoming a nurse. Okay? So that's how I would do question number 8, but I've also done one of the editing questions from the 3rd grade passage. It said, what is the correct way to write sentence 6? So I really suggest that you underline. This is question number 2. So when you're doing editing, you're thinking of dum-dums, not smarties, just details, not whole sentences. So all we're needing to figure out is which usage of these 4 is correct. So we're going to do our rules, which means read the question and the sentence softly or loudly. We'll underline and label all of the keywords and information. We'll begin to eliminate and explain one by one, and we'll select the correct answer in the book and the Scantron. So let's go back to sentence 6. I've already labeled it. Question number 2, it said, do you need some help? So let's find out who's talking, because whenever there's quotation marks in the middle of a paragraph, you have to find out who's doing the talking. And it said in the previous sentence, Sam said this. So it says, Dad and I built a treehouse last year at my old house in Houston. If you're going to do what I call verbalizing your capitalization and punctuation, you can say quotation, capital Dad and capital I, built past tense, compound subject, a treehouse last year past tense, at my old house where, in Houston, where, comma, quotation, Sam, capital Sam said, period. Opening quotation, quotation, capital do you needs some help, question mark, quotation. And since Sam is talking to the person who wrote the story, Jeff is the you, the pronoun in this sentence. So let's take a look at the answer choices. Do you needing some help? Well, that's present tense, but what you can do is eliminate it, because you can say the correct way to write that, are you needing some help, could work, but since that's not the way they did it, then we'll eliminate. G says, do you need some help? So that's singular, talking to Jeff, arrow pointing down, meaning right now, present tense. We'll check that one. Quotation, capital, do you will need some help? That's still singular, talking to Jeff, but that's in future tense because of the word will, and that doesn't sound good or look good, so we're going to eliminate it. Quotation, capital, do you needed some help? Question mark, quotation. That's still singular, talking to Jeff, one person in the pronoun, but past tense, since they haven't helped him and they're asking right now if Jeff wants the help. Letter G is the correct answer. So I suggest that you circle G, put another G around it. So we've read the question and the sentence in the passage. We've already underlined and labeled in the question and the passage. We're about to eliminate 3 answers. Select one in the book. There we go. We're going to eliminate those 3, and we've explained. And if you bubble in the G very tiny, because the letters are as small as the Scantron, you can practice bubbling as if you're actually doing the Scantron. And one last thing, so that your book answer can match your Scantron, come up here above the question and make a 2 with a G around it, so that the 2G in the book matches the 2G in the Scantron. So do me a favor, share this with your reading teacher friends, because you'd want to be able to help your kids during the rest of this school year. building a foundation and editing and revising using some of these samples that the state has given. So I would suggest that you give your kids one of these questions at a time and then allow them to watch the videos on YouTube so they can see how you and I might help them solve it. Thanks and God bless.